The Water Margin, Chapter 19.
The seven heroes, Chao, Wu Yang, the Ruans, they knew the government was coming for them.
They were already planning to head to the main Liangshan base, but they didn't just run.
No, not at all. The moment fishermen warned them the army was on its way, they split into two teams. It was really efficient.
So Wu Yang and Lu Tang, they become the logistics team.
Yeah, they get Ruan Air's elderly mother, the family, all their treasure, and they load it onto two big boats.
And send them off ahead of the fighting.
Exactly. It's a crucial move. By getting the non-combatants and the valuables out, they remove any leverage the officials might have. There are no hostages.
Which means the defense team, the Ruan brothers, are totally free to fight without holding back.
And they are, let's say, very confident. Ruan the second just boasts, I'll drown them all.
And the other two, Ruan the fifth and Ruan the seventh, they get their small boats ready. They're not building a wall.
No, they're setting a trap. They're basically putting up a big sign that says, come and get us.
Yeah.
If you can.
A trap the officials walk right into. They get to the Ruan family house. It's empty except for some heavy furniture. And they realize their targets are out on the water.
And here comes the single biggest mistake of the entire operation.
The fatal decision.
Tao and the inspector, they look at this huge, confusing marsh, and they decide the only way forward is by boat. So they leave all their horses on the shore.
All of them. They give up all their land-based power.
Think about that. 500 soldiers, trained for fighting on solid ground, now crammed onto over 100 captured fishing boats.
These aren't warships. They're just random skips they seized.
Right. They've just traded their entire military advantage for complete chaos on the water. They are now playing the Ruan brothers game.
And the game starts almost immediately. The fleet has barely gone a couple of miles when they hear it.
Singing, coming from somewhere deep in the reeds.
And it's Ruan the fifth, Ruan Wu, who shows up alone in a tiny boat.
And his song is just brilliant. It's a piece of psychological warfare.
He sings about killing corrupt officials, the bad guys.
But then he ends it with a pledge of loyalty to the emperor, to Lord Zhao.
It's so clever. He's telling the common soldiers, hey, we're not against you or the empire. We're just after your corrupt bosses.
It creates that sliver of doubt. Then he starts taunting them, for pulling the tiger's whiskers.
Yeah.
Just mocking this huge force.
So the archers, they get frustrated and they fire at him.
And he just, bats the arrows away with his club.
With his huaki, yeah. Deflects them and then just dive into the water and disappear.
Leaving 500 soldiers in 100 boats chasing ripples. It's an immediate, powerful statement. You can't touch us here.
So that first encounter, that was about showing off their mobility, their untouchability.
Right. The second encounter, that's when they ramp up the psychological terror.
The fleet keeps going deeper into the marsh, and then they spot Ruan the seventh, Ruan Qi.
And he is not hiding. He's dressed to be seen. Green bamboo hat, straw cape, holding a big spear. It's pure stagecraft.
He wants them to see him. And his song, it's a little different from his brothers.
Oh, yeah. No more political subtlety. Ruan Qi goes straight for the jugular.
He sings about cutting off the heads of He Tao and the inspector.
A direct death threat. He's basically broadcasting their death warrant to the entire fleet, trying to personally break the leader's morale.
But the real point of it is the lure, isn't it?
Absolutely. He mocks them, then zips away into a narrow channel, whistling as he goes. And of course, the officials, already humiliated once, they chase him blindly.
And that's when the landscape itself bites back.
The channel gets narrower, the reeds get thicker, and this massive fleet of 100 boats just grinds to a halt.
They're stuck, completely stuck in the middle of this maze, no dry land in sight.
You have to wonder, what was He Tao thinking at this point? He knew it was dangerous, but was it pride? Was it desperation?
I think it's desperation, and it gets worse when he tries to figure out where they are. He sends 2 small boats to scout 3 experienced men in each.
And what happens?
They're just gone for over 2 hours. Vanished without a trace. Swallowed by the marsh.
That must have been terrifying for the men left behind. It's not a fight anymore. It's like they're being hunted by ghosts.
Total panic is setting in. So He Tao, he sends a second wave of scouts, 5 more constables on 2 more boats. Same thing. They're gone for over an hour and don't come back. So that's 8 of his best men, 4 boats, all vanished.
The message to the other 500 guys is clear. This place is a death trap, and our leaders have no idea what they're doing.
The sun is starting to set. The absolute worst case scenario.
Right. Trapped in a hostile swamp at dusk.
Yeah.
So He Tao, probably feeling the inspector's eyes on him, makes his final Terrible mistake.
He decides he has to go scout himself.
He takes a small, fast boat with just a few of his most trusted constables. He's completely isolated himself from his army.
They row for another few miles, and then they spot him, a lone villager on the bank carrying a hoe.
Chao is desperate for any kind of information, so he calls out to the man, asks him where they are.
And the name the villager gives them should have been a massive red flag.
Guantugu.
Which translates to what exactly?
Beheading ditch, or dead-end gully.
I mean, you can't get a clearer warning than that.
But Chao is so focused, he misses it. He asks the villager, who is, of course, Ruan II, about his missing scouts.
And Ruan Erudis points and says, oh, they're just ahead, luring them closer to the bank.
And then the trap springs. It's brutally fast.
2 constables jump ashore. Ruan hits them with the hoe, 1 blow each, kills them instantly and knocks them into the water.
Chao sees this and tries to jump to the show to escape.
But his boat is suddenly shoved back out into the ditch. He's trapped on the water.
And at that exact moment, Ruan VII, Ruan Qi, bursts out of the water. He must have been waiting underneath the reeds.
Grabs Chao by the legs and just yanks him under.
While at the same time, Ruan is on the bank, finishing off the rest of the constables in the boat with the hoe. The text says he knocks their brains out. It's incredibly violent and efficient.
No witnesses.
None. Ruan Qi drags the sputtering Chao ashore and ties him up. And the way they tie him is just the ultimate humiliation.
They use his own official sash, his tabak, the symbol of his rank and authority.
And they wrap him up like a zongzi, a glutinous rice dumpling. He's not an official anymore. He's just a package, a thing to be delivered.
Utterly powerless. He begs for his life, brings up his 80-year-old mother.
And the brothers just mock him. They say, this is what we do. We kill people and set fires. They throw the bodies in the water.
And then the final reveal. 4 or 5 other fishermen just appear out of the reeds.
The men who were probably steering the captured boats, the men who took out the scouts, the whole thing was perfectly coordinated.
They all just sail away, leaving 500 government soldiers trapped in the dark, leaderless and completely defeated.
Without a single real battle, the entire operation was over. You have to picture the scene. It's late, the sources say, around the first watch, so it's dark.
And the government troops, they're not on high alert?
Not at all. They've got 40, maybe 50 official boats all clustered together. The soldiers are just resting, waiting for their scout, this observer guy, to get back. They're complacent.
And that complacency is just, it's their undoing. Because the outlaws, they aren't just relying on swords, they're using the environment itself as a weapon.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The sources describe this sudden shift in the weather. It sounds almost supernatural.
It really does.
They talk about this strange, fierce wind that just kicks up out of nowhere. The language is really poetic, flying sand and running stones, a wind that's sweeping the water, shaking the sky.
So the wind isn't just a storm, it's the opening shot of the battle.
It's the signal and the catalyst all in one. Suddenly there are black clouds, rain starts pouring down, and this is the critical part. The wind is so strong, it snaps the mooring cables holding the fleet together.
Ah, so they're untethered.
Exactly. These huge boats are now just crashing into each other in the dark in this narrow channel. They can't steer, they can't get out. Panic and gridlock, and the outlaws haven't even shown themselves yet.
And then comes the fire.
Then comes the fire. Small, fast boats, piled high with reeds and dry grass, suddenly get lit up. And that wind, it pushes them straight into the government fleet.
They're trapped.
Totally trapped. The narrow channel means there's no escape. 40 or 50 ships, just bottlenecked. They can't reverse. They can't get away from the fire.
No, that alone seems like enough to win, but the trap is even more clever than that. The soldiers, obviously, they abandon the burning ships.
They do the one predictable thing. They jump onto the banks, thinking they're safe on solid ground.
But they're not.
Not even close. This is the heart of the trap. The outlaws knew they'd do that. The reeds and grass on the banks were also set on fire at the same time.
Oh, wow. So they're caught between 2 walls of flame. The burning ships on the water and the burning reeds on the land.
Precisely. And the only space left for them to go is into the dense, muddy ground between the 2 fires.
The Lanuli.
Yep. So just imagine it. You're panicked, you're disorganized, you're stuck in thick mud, and you're surrounded by fire.
And only then do the actual killers show up.
Only then. A small, fast boat appears in the firelight. And on the bow is Gongsun Sheng, the mister, directing the whole thing with a sword. He's directing the final judgment. And then the ground troops move in from both sides. From the east, you have Chao Gai and Ruan Xiaowu. From west, Ruan Air and Ruan Shi.
With armed fishermen.
Armed fishermen with spears and flying fishhooks. It's a slaughter. It's not a messy fight. It's a professional, efficient massacre.
So after this complete victory, they move into phase 2, which is just pure political theater. They only take one prisoner.
The scout, he observer. They find him tied up like a dumpling in a cabin.
And they don't want ransom. They just want him to deliver a message.
That's all. Ruan confronts him, calls him a stupid bug from Jizu. And letting him go is really a power move. It says, we are so confident we can let you go free to tell everyone what we did.
But the message itself it's staggering. They're not just saying, stay away.
No, this is where they escalate everything. They name themselves, the Ruan brothers, Heavenly King Chao Gai, and then they go after the highest power in the land, Kai Jing, the Grand Chancellor.
Threatening a local official is one thing. Threatening Kai Jing, that's just asking for the entire imperial army to come down on you.
Or it's a way to make sure everyone knows you're not just a petty criminal. They say that if Kai Jing himself came, they'd cut 30 transparent holes through him. Think about that. They're telling the top official in the empire that his authority means nothing to them. It's revolutionary audacity.
But does that kind of brutality work? Doesn't it just make it impossible for them to find allies later on?
That's a great question. And right now, at this moment, they don't care about allies. They care about deterrence. They need to create a reputation for such terrifying ruthlessness that the government thinks twice before sending another army.
And they seal that reputation with one last act before they let him go.
A final, physical receipt of the encounter. Ruan Qi says they can't let him go home without a mark, or the officials might laugh at them.
So he pulls out a knife.
He does, and he cuts off both of your observer's ears. He calls it a testament, a physical statement etched onto a man's body before they leave him bloody on the road.
A message to be heard, delivered by cutting off the ears.
Chilling. Okay, so with the message sent, the group meets up with Wu Yang, and the focus shifts. They need a home.
Right. They head straight for the mountains, to Zugi's inn. He is the gatekeeper for the Liangshan Stronghold. And he recognizes this isn't just some small group looking for shelter.
He gets it immediately. He sends a message up to the fort using a special method. A skin-wrapped bow and a screaming arrow.
A screaming arrow?
Yeah, an arrow that whistles. It's a signal that something big is happening. This isn't a routine arrival.
So the leaders on the mountain, they get the message loud and clear. Wang Lun, the current head, comes down to greet them personally.
He does. He and his top men come out, and they show extreme deference to Heavenly King Chao Gai. On the surface, everything looks perfect.
They have this huge welcome banquet. 2 oxen, 10 sheep, 5 pigs.
It's a massive feast.
Yeah.
And Chao Gai is playing it smart. He's being humble, offering to be just a common soldier.
But then he tells the whole story.
Yeah, he's still full of adrenaline. He recounts the entire victory, the fire, the slaughter, and crucially, the thread to cut holes through Kai Jing.
And that's the tipping point.
As Wang Lin listens, his entire demeanor changes. The source says he was terrified.
Because he realizes what Chao Gai is bringing to his door.
Exactly. Wang Lun's operation was small, cautious, robbery, self-preservation. Chao Gai is bringing a guaranteed full-scale imperial army down on their heads. Wang Lun's life is now on the line.
And that fear just paralyzes him. He can't even finish the meal properly.
He's just going through the motions. The leader of the sanctuary is now terrified of the very people he's supposed to be protecting. The external war is over, but an internal one has just begun.
Which brings us to the key question. They're safe for now, but not for long. Who's the first one to see that the game has completely changed?
That would be Wu Yang.
Of course.
While everyone else is probably celebrating, Wu Yang is watching Wang Lin with this cold smile.
Mm-hmm.
He sees the fear, and he knows instantly that they can't be guests here. They have to be owners.
So what did Wu Yang see that maybe even Chao Gai missed? What were the signs?
He makes 3 key observations. First is just the obvious change in demeanor, the shift in Wang Lun's face.
Right.
He was friendly at first, but after hearing about Kai Jing, it wasn't just fear. It was insincerity. Wu Yang knew Wang Lun was already trying to figure out how to get rid of them.
Not how to integrate them.
Exactly. And the second point is what Wang Lun didn't do. He failed to commit.
What do you mean?
In that hall, ceremony is power. If Wang Lun was serious, he would have immediately assigned them their ranks and seats. It's a huge sign of respect.
But he didn't. He put it off.
He put it off, which meant he was buying time, probably planning to give them some money and send them on their way. It was a political insult disguised as hospitality.
Okay, so he sees the fake smile and the political snub, But the third observation is the real strategic genius. He looks past Wang Lin.
He looks past Wang Lun and focuses on an insider, Liangshan, the leopard head.
A man with his own long list of grievances against authority.
A very long list. And Wu Yong notices that while the other Liangshan leaders are oblivious, Lin Chong keeps looking over at Wang Lun with, well, the text says, unease. He's unhappy with his boss.
So Wu Yong sees a crack in the leadership. Lin Chong is a top-tier military commander stuck working for a cautious, small-minded leader.
He's settling. And Wang Lun's fear, his hesitation to welcome real power like Chao guy, is probably the last straw for a guy like Lin Chong.
He connects the dots. Wang Lun's fear has created an opening. Lin Chong is the lever.
And the plan is formed right there at the dinner table. Wu Yong tells Chao guy he's just going to drop a word to Lin Chong. Just a little nudge to encourage the Stronghold to fight among themselves.
A civil war.
Basically, they don't even have to lead the coup. They just have to light the fuse.
That is just a massive turn. They arrive looking for a safe harbor from the government.
And within hours, they're planning to take it over because their own victory was too big for the current leadership to handle.
It's the brutal calculus of power, isn't it? The very thing that made them heroes, that audacity to challenge Kai Jing, is what made conflict with the cautious Wang Lin absolutely inevitable.
The sources show us so clearly how fast an external victory can turn into internal chaos.
And the stage is set almost immediately. It's the morning after Chao Gai's 7 heroes arrive at Liangshan.
Right, and these are the guys who just pulled off that legendary heist, stealing the birthday gifts convoy. So they have a huge reputation.
A huge one. And they're put in the guest quarters, and then suddenly the mountain's #2 warrior, Lin Chong, shows up for a visit.
This is the moment I love. The strategist, Wu Yong, hears that Lin Chong is coming to visit. His reaction is just immediate.
It's chilling. He says, "Oh, he's fallen right into our trap," just like that. So the question is, what made Wu Yong so confident that Lin Chong was already primed to betray his own boss?
It's because Wu Yong he's a master at reading people, at sensing those deep-seated grievances.
Exactly. When Lin Chong comes in, he's not just polite. He's, almost excessively deferential. He says he couldn't show proper respect the night before because he was not in his position.
And that phrase is such a tell. It's not just, oh, my rank is too low.
No, it's the sound of a caged tiger. He feels he's being held down by a leader who is, frankly, incompetent.
You can just feel that simmering resentment. And Wu Yong, the strategist, he pounces on it. He immediately asks Lin Chong to talk about his past.
And he brings up the ultimate villain in Lin Chong's life, Coup.
The man who ruined his life and drove him into exile.
And that shared hatred, well, that's the foundation for an immediate bond. Lin Chong says the mere mention of Coup makes his hair stand up. This is his hut, his deep, burning feud that he can never let go of.
And he knows, deep down, that Wang Lin will never help him get that revenge. Wang Lin's just not ambitious enough.
Not at all. So once they establish that bond over a common enemy, the conversation shifts. It gets political.
All right, they start talking about legitimacy.
Yeah.
And we have to give a little context here for you listening. Lin Chong was originally recommended to Liangshan by a very important figure, Chai Jin.
The Little Whirlwind. And that name carries enormous weight in their world. Chai Jin is famous as this great patron of heroes, but more importantly, he's a descendant of an ancient emperor.
So why does that matter to a bunch of outlaws on a mountain?
Because it connects their rebellion, their cause, to a kind of ancient, respected lineage. It gives them a legitimacy that the corrupt government they're fighting against has lost.
So when Chai Jin vouches for you, it means you're not just some random thug. You're a hero of real stature.
Precisely. And Wu Yong weaponizes that legitimacy. He flat out tells Lin Chong that his martial skill is so great that it's basically public opinion, period, that he should be the one leading Liangshan.
Wow, that's a bold move.
It's a genius move. He's not just flattering him. He's telling him, everyone who matters already thinks you're the true leader. Your boss is just a placeholder. He's completely undermining Wang Lin's authority before a sword is even drawn.
And Lin Chong just spills everything. He confirms all their suspicions about Wang Lin. He calls him petty, untrustworthy, someone with an unstable mind.
But he names the fatal flaw, the one that seals Wang Lin's fate. He says Wang Lin suffers from intrigue.
Jealousy of talent and competence.
In an organization like this, which survives purely on merit and strength, being jealous of your best people is a death sentence.
And he even gives them proof. He tells them how Wang Lun suspiciously lodged them far away at the mountain pass the night before.
A clear attempt to isolate them.
It all builds to this one moment of commitment. Lin Chong looks at them and basically vows that if Wang Lun tries anything funny again, the confrontation rests entirely on Lin Chong's shoulders.
That's the signal. He's giving them the green light. He's saying, I will do the dirty work.
The deal is sealed. And we move straight from that vow into a full-blown strategy session.
Wu Yong doesn't waste a second. He hears Lin Chong's promise and immediately predicts the outcome. He says Lin Chong will certainly have intentions of a fire merge.
Okay, so let's break down that term fire merge. It sounds much more, dramatic than just a coup.
It is. It's more total. A fire merge in this context implies a violent, complete purge of the old leadership. It means the change is absolute, and you're essentially burning down the old regime to build something new.
Wiping the slate clean.
Exactly. It's a bloody but necessary act of political renewal.
And Wu Yong is leaving nothing to chance. He assures Chao Guy that even if Lin Chong gets cold feet at the last second, he'll use his 3-inch, uncorrupted tongue to push things forward. He's the political failsafe.
And then comes the practical planning, the tactical move. They decide Chao Guy's group must all carry hidden weapons into the banquet.
Daggers, probably.
Most likely. And crucially, they agree on a clear, nonverbal signal.
The signal, which I just think is brilliant, is that Wu Yong will stroke or twirl his beard.
It's military-grade coordination without saying a single word. So subtle.
And while they're plotting this, messengers keep arriving from Wang Lun, repeatedly urging them to come to this banquet at the South Mountain Water Pavilion.
The insistence just adds to the tension. It confirms Wang Lun is walking right into their trap.
And the text gives us this beautiful, almost ironic description of the setting. It's this idyllic pavilion with flowers, thousands of lotus leaves, shaded willows.
It's the perfect, peaceful backdrop for the absolute chaos that's about to unfold.
So let's go to the banquet, the climax. The moment they sit down, you can just feel the tension in the seating arrangement.
Oh, yeah. Wang Lin and his guys, Duqian, Songwan, and Zhu Gi with Lin Chong, they sit as hosts on the left. Chao Guy and his 6 companions are guests on the right. A clear divide.
And during the first few rounds of wine, Wang Lin just avoids the main topic. He won't talk about gathering for righteousness,
No, he's just making small talk. He's trying to keep them at arm's length, control the narrative, but he's failing.
And you can see Lin Chong's frustration building. The text says he's sitting sideways, just glaring at Wang Lun. The pressure is about to blow.
And then, after drinking for hours, Wang Lin makes his move, his fatal move. He tries to expel them.
He has a platter brought out with 5 huge silver ingots on it and calls them small, thin gifts.
It's just the ultimate insult. By offering them money, he's basically saying, you're not brothers in arms, you're just mercenaries I can pay to go away.
Then he says it outright. He tells them Liangshan is too small, calling it a small pool of water that can't hold so many true dragons. He tells them to leave.
And that's the trigger. Lin Chong just explodes. He screams that Wang Lun used the exact same excuse. Not enough grain, not enough housing, when he first arrived years ago.
So it reveals Wang Lun as not just jealous, but as this chronic, small-minded gatekeeper who's afraid of talent.
Lin Chong's control is gone. He calls him a hypocrite, smiling outside, knife hidden inside. And then he delivers the killer blow, the one insult that destroys him politically.
He calls him a thesa.
A penniless scholar who failed his exams.
And you have to understand, Wang Lun's only real claim to authority was his education, his literacy. He wasn't a great fighter.
So by calling him a failed scholar, Lin Chong invalidates his entire identity. He strips him of his right to lead. Wang Lun, furious, just yells at him for being drunk. Fatal miscalculation.
And then it happens. The fire merge. It's like choreography.
First, Lin Chong kicks the table aside.
Second, he pulls a bright, shining knife from under his robe. The text says it was, Zhachong, say, like it's on fire.
The signal. Wu Yang touches his beard.
And instantly the newcomers move.
Yeah.
Chao Gai and Lu Tang block Wang Lun's escape. He's trapped.
At the same time, the Ruin brothers and the others restrain the other 3 loyalist leaders. They neutralize the entire old guard before they can even react. Flawless execution.
And the focus snaps back to Lin Chong. He plunges the knife right into Wang Lun's heart.
And the text makes it clear. Wang Lun's narrow mind brought this disaster upon himself.
The regime is purged. The coup is a success. And the consolidation of power is immediate.
Right. They cut off Wang Lun's head. And the other three leaders, Du Qian, Song Wan, and Zhu Gi, they immediately kneel and pledge allegiance to the new group. They know which way the wind is blowing.
But this next part, this is the most critical moment of the entire story, I think. This proves it was about more than just a power grab.
It is, because Wu Yong, seeing the momentum, tries to immediately install Lin Chong as the new chief. He holds up Wang Lin's bloody head as an example.
But Lin Chong refuses. He vehemently refuses the top spot.
And this is his defining moment. He says he did it for the sake of the hero's righteousness, their soul, not for his own ambition.
He declares that if he took the position right after killing the leader, he'd earn the contempt of all heroes, the Du Chen.
And this is just strategically brilliant. Why do you think he does this? Why turn down the power he just won?
Because if he had taken that chair, he would have proved Wang Lun right, that he was just another ambitious guy trying to usurp power.
Exactly. By refusing the top spot, he validates the morality of the coup. He proves he acted for the greater good of the collective, for their shared code of lead day. He proves he is the polar opposite of the jealous, self-serving Wang Lun he just killed.
So he gives up the position to win the moral high ground, which, in this world, is actually far more valuable.
It's everything. He's making it clear that he killed a bad leader to make room for a righteous one, not just for himself. The power isn't taken by the killer, it's given by the collective to the best persons for the cause.
Which ends up being Chao Gai. And this act, this refusal, is what truly creates the new Liangshan. He makes a proposal, and it leads to a new era, a real gathering of righteous men.